your girl LC Clements here with our Watch and Chill series with Voltron season 7. And in this season, I'm gonna try to condense it as best I can because I was trying to get this video out last week. There was an event last week. This week's a family reunion, so I'm gonna try to condense it into a 20-minute video instead of my normal 40-minute rant. So this season, I'm just gonna talk about the highlights. This season, okay, I can say it now. This season was more about the action. We're finally going to Earth, and there's so many changes that it's you have to like watch. I think watch the season twice to even get what's going on. The first thing that we find out is Lotor's generals are no longer together anymore. I know one got killed by Lotor. The two crazy ones, the big hulky girl and the girl with the pink with the orange ponytail, they got together and became bandit marauders. So they just destroy everything with other half Galrans and blah blah blah. And they're trying to find when they find out Voltron's alive, they capture them and we find out that they've been gone for 4 years, which I'm sure some people are surprised. I'm not 100% surprised because if you remember the episode in season 7 when Keith and his mom were trying to find the quintessence or whatever, I can't remember off the top of my head because it's been about 2 weeks, but they were on these whales and they were shifting through time and shifting memories, and they aged for 2 years. Then we find out last season the Altians all didn't die out. They were on the whales and we're traveling. I guess time slowed down for them. So if they can age for 2 years, it is possible that during the fight with Lotor, when they ended up in the quintessence dimension with Lotor, that they could have been in there for 4 years rather than the normal couple of minutes or couple of hours we saw in the episode. So with that being said, that happened. Then we find out that the alliance with Voltron, they think they're dead, so we don't know what happened with them. The Blade of Mamora is gone for the most part. Hagar has pretty much abdicated her position as a witch and is now Minerva, and she disappeared, which I hope we see in season 8. Aksha, who is the leader of Lotor's generals, basically disbanded from them and is now a good guy and tries to help Voltron get out of this pirate bandit mess. We also it's so much happening in one season. I'm just trying to condense it to 20 minutes. I was going to make an earlier video, but then previous week was one event with my mother and her jewelry selling event. Then this week's the family reunion and my wedding anniversary. So just the day after my wedding anniversary, I could finally go back to doing my reviews. So with that being said, um, they get stuck in. There's so much character development. It wasn't like a whole bunch of chapters just dedicated to one character like it normally is. It was almost all of them. One episode in particular, which I know all the fans were happy and disappointed at the same time, was Shiro, because Shiro was revealed to be gay, which is cool. He's gay. Okay. I mean, yeah, the shippers are probably going to go nuts because they call him Space Dad. They have so much shipping with him and Keith or him and Lance, and I'm not going down that road because that's a black hole that I'll never get out of. Anyway, we find out his past because at this point, after Alora used her MacGuffin to take the essence of Shiro from the Black Lion and put it into Clone Shiro's body. His clone body was rejecting it. Then he accepted it. And then we get this scene with him and his ex Adam, who says that if you go out, because Shiro was dying, as we find out from Keith in Shiro's flashbacks. I want to say Keith and Shiro because some of these memories do come from Keith and some of them come from Shiro. At least in my thought pattern it did. And sorry, I have a little bit of allergies. And we find out that they were together, and Adam's a instructor, high class pilot, and it turns out that they broke up before he even left for Earth. He said, "If you go on this mission, I will not be here when you get back." And the reason for that is Shiro is dying, which we find out through Keith's flashbacks. that he has some type of incurable disease, which we don't know what it is, but he keeps gripping his arm. He's taking his medication, and it's kind of cute. We also find out how Keith and Cheryl met, which is Cheryl was recruiting potential candidates for the flight academy. I mean, the Galaxy Garrison, and they were taking this cute virtual reality, almost like Space Invaders type of deal, video game, trying to go through meteors. And only one who really aced it was Keith and this one other kid. But Keith was perfect. He stole Cheryl's car of all things and just runs off. And Cheryl never gives up on him, and that's, I guess, why we call him Space Dad. Space Dad never gave up on Keith, and it was good. It was a good flashback, and we find out with Adam, he was gay. It was a good nod, to LGBT community. You don't have to, make it this big thing. I get it. We need more LGBT characters. I mean, Steven Universe has so many LGBT characters. It's ridiculous. I'm sure there's going to be a T character eventually, but oh wait, there was. With Lars of the Stars. I'm going off track here, but it was great. See some backstory from Shiro, and we also got some character development in episodes, like one where they got lost in space and they were drifting, and it was because there was some type of like meteor or electric field that knocks them all out of their lions, and it was amazing. They were all going nuts. They had to go sound off, and because Keith learned this from being around his mother, how to play with your, just keep your mind alert. And then they finally argue, and the only one that gets him out of this is Hunk. And I love Hunk for this because he has to be the glue almost that holds his family together. Hunk. He's the one who had told him to knock it off. And I was actually legitimately surprised with the whole Alora was trying to keep everybody together, and he's like, you, and they just, the whole truth comes out, the whole thing with Lotor and how Lotor betrayed all of them. I was like, oh, and the truth comes out. Here we go. I knew it was going to be some point of anger somehow this series, that they were going to touch on the whole Alora kind of gave Lotor what he wanted. And I know it's kind of a jerk move to make, but I knew it was going to happen. I mean, it's almost like, how could you do that? Like I said in one of my earlier video, how could you let him have the keys to your kingdom? How could you let him do this? But if we've already established that Lotor is smart and he's smooth and he's gonna do anything he can to get what he wants, and he knows he can use his charm to get what he wants, because Lotor's a handsome guy with this big white hair, and he could just go flow like this. He's Orlando Bloom. He's Orlando Bloom. Let's be honest. He's Orlando Bloom from Lord of the Rings, and every woman fell in love with that, and they just kind of roll with it. But that whole drift in space happened, and everybody, and you kind of feel the tension for a couple of episodes. They're all trying to switch lines, and then we finally get the name for the space wolf named Cosmo, who can go boop, I'm gonna transfer here. Boop, I'm gonna transfer here. It was pretty cool. I know I'm jumping all over the place because I'm trying to get my brain together. Considering this is a family reunion, I probably have a limited amount of time. Family reunion, wedding anniversary. Anyway, so we also get a cute episode, which is a Family Feud-esque episode. It's called something, I can't say the name, Shibble Shibble Grift or something like that. But it was Family Feud, except it's Family Feud for the death. We've got. It had me laughing because it was like an old 60s, 70s version of Family Feud, and I think the writers knew what they were doing when they did this. You got the Voltron voice versus the Golden Rowan family with why can't I say words right now? Lotor, Hagar, the King, shoot, Zarkon. I cannot remember his name because he's been gone for like 3 seasons. Zarkon, and then some lowly midget general, and they're all, I mean, little person, I shouldn't say that, little person general. And it's really, really funny because they're completely out of character, except for Cree Summer. If you ever seen Cree Summer anything else, her voice ranges from Susie Carmichael, Penny from Inspector Gadget, all the way down to Voltron. And she played Mercy Grace in one of the Superman, the old Death of Superman movies. So her voice can play sly and she can play evil. So they were completely out of character. Lotor's got his little hair thing going on. Zarkon's acting like a dad. And it was like, they didn't know what to do. And the whole thing was they met this big celestial guardian, I guess, and they were considered worthy. But anyway, they when they finally get back, I'm going all place because I guess I'm gonna condense this all into 20 minutes. The other thing that happened was we had Sam, who is Pidge's dad, finally gets back to the Galaxy Garrison. Um, and he tries to prepare Earth for the Galra Empire, saying that they're going to come to Earth and this is going to happen. And we get a couple of other characters. One of them was the general who was in the first season, who is actually a well-respected friend of Sam. And then we get the commander, or the admiral of the Galaxy Garrison, named Sanda, who is completely against this whole idea. And she tries to hold him and hold him hostage, saying that the information should not be leaked. We know the Earth doesn't even know about the Empire, and he's saying you are pretty much crippling Earth before it can even begin. And Sam creates weapons and schematics and ways to advance Earth's technology. And of course, Admiral Sanda's completely against it. She doesn't believe him all the time, and she wants him, to step back and let the garrison handle this and stop making tests and wasting the government's money for something that may never come. And Sam he got a pair on him because he went against the military, nearly gets arrested, and tells them and sends the message to the rest of the rest of the world about the Voltron and the kids that are fighting this. So we see Lance's huge family. Um, Lance's family. Keith doesn't have a family, unfortunately. Pidge's family's already there, and then we see um, I can't say his name. I couldn't say his name. I'm like I said, I'm bad with names. Hunk's family, who is they all look like him, and I found out Hunk is Samoan. That's even better. I'm like, yay! So it's cool. I mean, I found out that Jeremy Shada's character Lance was Cuban, which I don't. He has a huge family, and then we see that Hunk's Samoan family also notices, and then the whole world comes together to fight the Gaul Empire. And right before they even could get this shield, that is only one place in the world that could defeat the Galra, and they couldn't even expand their technology. The Galra shows up with Sindak, and Sindak is brutal. He kills most of the world, and the fight, and there's this whole thing against with Amara Sanda and Sam's telling him don't send your best fighters out there because they recruited, like I said in the beginning of the video, he recruited these kids to go. There's these kids that show up that get trained. One of them was a family member, not family member, an old classmate of Keith's, called the Voltron, who pretty much, I think they were a nod to Voltron Force. I didn't like Voltron Force, but I appreciate the nod. And they were trained to fight, have these great fighters to become the next fighters, in case Voltron doesn't show up. And Sanda completely ignores them and goes out and fight. Tells her best fighters to go out and go Voltron. Bam, they're dead. Bam, they're dead. They're dead. They're dead. Everybody's dead, including Shiro's ex-boyfriend Adam, which I will briefly talk about this subject after I get through this season. He dies tragically, and then Admiral Sanda, wanted to throw Sam away because like you don't know what you're doing. We know what you're doing, and they found out the reason why Sindak is there is to get the Voltron lines, which of course he's trying to get the Voltron lines. Everybody's trying to get the Voltron lines. Why am I not surprised about this? But anyway, they lose. The Earth loses, and the only place left is the Galaxy Garrison, and they're refugees. And by the time they reach Earth, the Voltron and all of them, the Galra has taken over, and we get these scenes which I predicted was going to happen last season. Earth doesn't trust 100% the Alteans, Corin and Ramel and my head hurts so bad. Cora, Ramel, and Alora, and it's to be expected. You have a bunch of people say give up the line, so the Gar leave them alone, And the other half, including the Voltron fighters who have been there, who have fought them, and says, no, we're not going to do it because they're going to just betray you in the end. And all these battles happen, all these stakes are up, and then we get this lovely character development from Hunk, who went to the Galaxy Garrison to become a soldier and decides to defy all orders to go find his family, and he doesn't find his family right away. You know, I felt bad for Hunk because Hunk deserves better, but it turns out his family might be alive because they might be enslaved by the Gara because they're trying to get these big Earth driller things to take these big lasers and destroy the Earth. Because it finds out through Altean technology in the database that if a planet does not give up, they will just destroy it because they can't. I guess they just like, you know what? If you were this strong, we're just gonna kill you because we are the ultimate empire. And the only empire they have destroyed before this was the Altean Empire. So they figure, let's kill Earth. And it's so much happens in one season. We got Sanda with her betrayal, and then she finds out that after giving up the lions, that you know, shocking or shock and horror, Sendak wasn't going to hold up his end of the bargain. He was going to destroy Earth anyway. It was, and at the end, Sanda dies, but after giving her life and realized that she made a mistake, um, they destroy Sendak, and then it was a big battle, and Keith slays Sendak. So Sendak is gone for good. He's not coming back, and then this big beast comes out of nowhere, and then Voltron pretty much gets their butts handed to them. Then they had to get the Galaxy Garrison Ace fighters to come fight them. Then Shiro creates a mecha out of nowhere named Atlas, the Atlas ship that they've been creating this whole time, to replace the Castle Lions. They go and fight them, and it's this big, huge robot. You got this tiny. So here's the big robot thing. Here's this little tiny Robeast. The Robeast beats the crap out of it, by the way. Where Voltron gets back up and defeats it, and we find out there's Altair inside. That's the end. I'm not gonna. I can't go over all of the entire season 7, but I will say this: if you haven't seen this season, just go ahead and watch it. It's so much going on. But it was all action. It was all action, and we know that I have a feeling season 8 is going to be about Minerva and the Altans, because inside of that Robeast was an Altan, meaning that Minerva, even though she's no longer Hagar, is still doing experiments on Altan, something her son did, because apparently Quintessence, this life energy, is inside of everybody, and he was harnessing for whatever empire or whatever he was going to do in his madness. And I have a feeling season 8 is going to be about Minerva. And the reason why I say that is because of the Robeast. And on top of that, I have a feeling that Lotor has something to do with it. At first, when they fought this Robeast, I thought it was Lotor, because this thing was fighting so hard and so well. I thought it was maybe Lotor made another, thing, because they've already confirmed in the Let's Voltron podcast that Lotor is not dead. We already confirmed that we already know Hagar abandoned her post as the witch Hagar and became Minerva, pretty much like, screw the Golden Empire, I'm out. So we know that this is probably going to be her season, since next season is going to be. They said last season was going to be last season, but I think this next season is going to be last season because they got to wrap everything up. And I briefly want to talk about the whole disappointment everybody had with the death of Adam, because we got an LGBT character named, Shiro was gay, had a boyfriend named Adam. Adam and him broke up. Adam died. And it was like, no development whatsoever. And I get why people are a little upset, because we always take gay characters and we kind of just shove them under the rug. But you gotta remember, this is Netflix. It's not like a network TV show, and yes, we have plenty of LGBT characters through all types of shows everywhere on Netflix. I have a feeling, even if, let's say, there's two things that could happen in this series. Either Adam is truly dead, or he could be alive. Maybe he got captured by the Golden Empire, and we find him later. Or maybe they'll introduce another gay character. For the longest time, Pidge was considered to be transgender, even though she now identifies herself as Katie Holt. Everybody thought she was transgender for the longest time, and it turns out she wasn't. So there's a possibility that there's probably another gay character out there. I don't know who, because Aksha and Keith are probably gonna end up getting together due to their half Altan heritage. Pidge and Hunk are probably gonna end up together. I'm just gonna call it because they're so compatible. Unless you know Hunk ends up being gay, which I really seriously doubt, considering there was one episode where he was with a female alien, which could happen. I mean, in Legend of Korra, Korra I consider she's not a lesbian, she's bisexual because she was with Mako and then she was with um Asami. So, like I said, it could go either way. But everybody's so wrapped up and angry about this. I'm just happy that we got a officially gay character. And yes, it's a tragedy that Adam died, but I like the fact that we got some development from Shiro because Shiro, remember, he was dead for like 2 seasons. Then we find out he was inside the lion. We knew nothing about Shiro except that Shiro actually, besides the fact this is a nod between the old and new, the Japanese original Voltron and the American style Voltron. Yeah, and then the whole nod was Ven, which is another nod to Voltron, the original 80s Voltron. It's nice to see some character development. Yes, he's gay, but that's not his only character. Shiro is a great leader. He became the captain of the Atlas because he knows how to fight the Galra, because he knows what he's doing. He is an ace fighter. He's one of the best fighters in the Galaxy Garrison. We can't. I know the whole thing about him being gay was a big deal to a lot of people, but that's not his only character. He's more than just a gay character. And I know he's not real. I know I'm probably just talking like he's a real person, but his character is more than just a gay character. And he's not a throwaway gay. I'm sure that he's gonna get a boyfriend by the end of the series. I hope that somehow they don't pull some shipping bullcrap and pull out Lotor, and because if they do, I'm probably gonna throw my phone away, or not throw my phone. I'm gonna throw a pillow or something at the television. But I digress. There's more to it than that. And they're probably going to make more cutscenes with him and Adam. He probably has pictures with him and Adam. So, calm down, everybody. I'm sure we're going to see another gay character show up. For all we know, Katie might come out as gay. Which, okay, you know, it's kind of I hate to say it's just part of her character development. So that's all I have time for because there we go, my family's coming back. That's all I have time for this episode. And I hope you guys enjoy season 8. If you haven't go see it, go watch it on Netflix. It's actually a really great show. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.